Alright everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 40, and as you can probably notice, I am indeed in a different location. I'm here in London. I was here for the My Great Fest. I say I was, it's finished, hence why it was in the past. And now I'm here till Wednesday of this week, and of course I couldn't go out this week without doing an Apple Weekly, so I brought all my gear, brought the MacBook Air which I took with me to My Great Fest, and of course my camera gear as well. I did bring my microphone and tripod for some reason, I kind of regret it, but hey. So as usual, before getting into this week's Apple Weekly, I'd like to thank parcelmonkey.com and of course igear.com, as the t-shirt suggests. First story of this week is, and I really do have to mention this, Google Chrome, there's an update out. So if you're using Line and you haven't updated, you know that you can't full screen the Google Chrome app. Yeah, and you can't use the scroll features, like the two scrolling features, and when you're switching between Safari and Chrome, it does get annoying. There is an update out as of yesterday, which is well worth it in my opinion. Go out, get it. Next up, finally Apple Thunderbolt Displays have started to arrive for some customers, even although the online store is still showing 2 to 3 weeks here in the UK. But some customers in the States and pretty much around the world have received their shipments, and if you have £400 to £899, you sir, I don't know what to say. To be honest, personally, I would spend that money towards another Mac, i.e. an iMac, or maybe 2 Mac Minis, or you know, a MacBook Air or something, rather than just spending £900 solely on a display. But hey, I know it's cheaper in the States and I would consider getting one, or it's cheaper in Hong Kong, but the AAT, the Apple added tax, and the VAT here in the UK, value added tax, does, you know, cost us a wee bit. But anyways, customers have started to got it, and of course Apple has released new support documents saying what can and can't be done. The surprising thing is, you know, the MacBook Air, you can only hook up one Thunderbolt display, whereas all the other Macs you can connect up to 2 Thunderbolt displays, because I know everyone who's getting a Thunderbolt display is not just getting one Thunderbolt display, they're getting 2, because it's that cheap. But with the 13-inch MacBook Pro, if you connect 2 Thunderbolt displays up, you won't be able to use your primary screen on your MacBook Pro. It would just be a black screen. You won't be able to use it because the displays are taking up most of the powerage, I guess. So that is a bit of a downer for the 13-inch MacBook Pro, but all the others will take 2 plus your Mac screen, which is a nice setup, I guess. And finally, the last bit of Thunderboltage that Apple has thrown away to customers. People have just bought them and said, hey, you won't be able to do this, this and this, but we've shipped your Thunderbolt display out anyway. So it says, many DisplayPort displays won't light up if you connect them to a Thunderbolt display. Okay. Next up is the iPad 3 and why it's probably not going to come out this year. Apple don't need to rush the iPad 3, let's face it. The competition has just gone out. Competition did come this year from HP, from BlackBerry. They released their, you know, half-arsed attempts at an iPad. HP, you know, they cut the prices down to $99. They've got rid of it. They're just getting rid of that, you know, tablet. BlackBerry has reported losses. The number of units sold are poor. So why should Apple really bring out an iPad 3? What benefit is it going to give them? They're already so far ahead. They've captured, you know, so much of the market share already. It wouldn't make any sense to bring out an iPad 3, as I said a good couple Apple Weeklies back. There is no solid competition. Yes, there is a new Android tablet coming out every other week, but is it really, you know, pulling in people? When people see an iPad or a tablet, they want an iPad, and there is kind of no workaround for it. My personal opinion is we're not going to see an iPad 3 this year, so if you haven't got an iPad yet and you're still hanging on to see what the iPad 3 is going to bring, or outright you want an iPad but you're waiting for the third one, good luck to you, sir or ma'am, because you're not going to get it until next year. That is what I think anyway. I doubt they're going to release an iPad 3 and an iPhone 5 this year together. An iPhone 5 is a definite. I can't see them rolling out an iPad 3. There is no need for it. They're not really being pushed. And I'll leave this screenshot from the man himself, Steve Jobs. He had this keynote image and he said 2011 is going to be a year of the copycats, and you know, it kind of was. BlackBerry, HP, how well they've done, it was just kind of spoke for itself. Okay, so this next story has kind of excited me quite a lot. I'm looking forward to this. I must be the only person on the planet who doesn't use iChat. That is correct, I don't use iChat. But There's been coding found within Line, one of the beta lines, and it's relating to iMessage. And iMessage is of course going to be in iOS 5, where you can message all your iDevice or iOS people for free. And it's a bit like BBM, as BlackBerry has kind of worked it out, but this is just for iOS devices. And there could be some integration where iOS plus a Mac, so you can install iMessage right online and have that interaction going within your laptop. So if you've got your MacBook Air sitting with you and you've got your iPhone as well, you've got an iMessage on the phone, your friends texted you or messaged you on an iOS device, instead of typing it away there and then, you can just resort to your MacBook Air, and of course it's still going to be free, which I must say is pretty nice. I'll leave a link in the description to a really cool concept video created by someone at MacStories. It looks pretty sweet and I can't wait to see this in the Mac App Store come iOS 5. Next up is, are we going to be seeing new 2011 iMacs? As I reported in the last story, Apple released a support document for the Thunderbolt Displays, and they mentioned this thing here, late 2011 iMacs. And as you guys know, there is no 2011 iMac or late 2011 iMac. There has been an EDU version, which is just for education customers and no one else, and the random Joe blogs can't really go out and buy it. So why would they include that in here? And that really isn't a late 2011 version. That was released about 2-3 months ago. So could we be seeing it? As of this time, Apple has pulled that listing, rectified it. But could that just be Apple dropping a huge fail? Who knows? And if we do see one, I think it's just going to be a small kind of bumpage in processors, possibly the graphics card, or maybe giving us a SSD option built right in. But I doubt that. Hey, it really is Apple. And lastly, staying on the topic of Mac refreshes, the MacBook Pro apparently is going to see a refresh by the end of this month, certainly by the end of this quarter. That's according to Apple Insider. According to their source, Apple will just do a minor bumpage in processors, no external redesign as we were expecting earlier this year. That is going to happen next year. And it kind of counter-reacts what Mac Rumor said a few months back, where they said the next MacBook Pro refresh is going to be major. Major in a sense, we're going to see a redesign, liquid metal, cases and stuff. But this report's indicating otherwise, that it's just going to be a small CPU bump. The new, or staying on track with the Core i processor, Sandy Bridge next generation processors. At this moment in time, there is nothing to suggest supply chain wise all the retailers still have the MacBook Pros in stock. Amazon, Best Buy, Target and so on. Apple shipping within 24 hours. And usually when there's a refresh around the corner, Apple tends to slip that, to stop shipping it to customers or clients or whatever, corporate companies. And that is really a good indication, and that kind of passes it out. But there really hasn't been anything of that such yet. So over the next few weeks, if you are looking to get a MacBook Pro, might be worthwhile hanging out, especially that Apple's October Mac event has usually been held in the past 2-3 years. So you might want to wait around, linger around till October to see what goes down, if anything. And I guess you've really got to ask yourself, is a new processor really going to help you out? If all you're going to be doing is Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, check your email, do Word documents, and a lot of them, the current processors are going to be an overkill in any case. The processors are really going to help out where you're going to be doing those intense tasks, a lot of video work, a lot of graphic work. And if you don't really fall into that category, don't bother waiting. Apple has got the education discount on just now. They've got fantastic, the deals. I'll leave a link on the screen as to how to get the cheapest Mac, and that runs out by the 20th of September, which is in like 2 days, so you might want to check it out. But guys, that's it for Apple Weekly number 40. I hope you guys liked it. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or any comments, any suggestions, or any stories that you have, funny or otherwise. And if you want to leave a video response, feel free to do so. And guys, that is it for this week in Apple. I hope you guys liked it. As always, I will see you guys in another life. Cheers! Oh, and before I go, if you want to see my setup right now, what it is, I'm going to show you in this image. This is the pain I had to go through in order to get everything right, thanks to no tripod. But yeah, I worked it out in any case. This is where I'm editing Apple Weekly number 40 from, right here in London, and I'll just spin it around and show you. That's dedication.